looks cool.
In 400 meters, turn left. Your destination is on the left.
4つに着くって言ってね、今綺麗に4時やね。Welcome to JagaVision. I am your host, Jared Nyberg. I am co-owner of JagaSilk. You can go check us out on JagaSilk.com. We just went to Kyoto and we had an awesome trip. We were in Japan visiting a couple farmers. One of them was Mr. Fujioka. So Fujioka-san is one of our older connections. We've been working with him for easily 13, if not 14 years. 下山はすごいヒットしてますよ。
そう、下山、
はい。なんかみんな好きですよ。
そう。
あと奥緑の奥田がめちゃくちゃファンが多くて。
ファンが
奥緑の奥田でしょ。
はい。藤岡さんのベスト。
ベストでしょ。
はい。
A です。
A でしょ。
他の同じランクでいろんな農家に回るんですよ。私たちのやり方でローテーションがあって、高木さんの一番いいものと藤岡さんの一番いいものをローテーションでやってて、
やっぱりいつも来てくれる人が、まあよそのも美味しいのいっぱいあるけど。もうここの飲んだらもうよそのは飲
めなくなる。
まあ一応はね、一応はまあ建前上言ってくれる人結構そうやって来てくれる。でもまあよその。
Fujioka-san, he is awesome, does a very consistent job. Something really unique about him is that he's vertically integrated. His whole system is unusual in that he's not only harvesting the leaves, he's processing them into a finished tea. And most farmers are going to bring their tea to a factory that's going to process it for them. That will then be sold to a cooperative that will then be sold to a tea company. Fujioka-san, being vertically integrated, has the equipment on hand to produce his raw leaf into, say, finished sencha, finished tencha, etc. So it's been a really unique part of working with him. He also does single cultivar selections. We visited this time for the first time since the pandemic. So the last time we saw him was the October before everything went haywire. So it was really great to catch up. We got to talk to him a little bit about some of our goals. We're really trying to encourage a movement towards spray-free agriculture. He's really close. Sometimes he grows completely spray-free because he forgets to spray, which is hilarious. Other times he does it a little bit if he's just seeing some damage to the plant. So he's very, they call it tei no yaku in Japan, which is very minimally sprayed. In Canada, we don't really even talk about it. We just say standard or organic.
高木さんのこれその九州
九州です。でこれも前は有機ではなかったけど、有機にしてくれたんです。
すいませんみたいな作ろうって感じで、
はい、
最初に思ってたのはもう無農薬であって、
その農薬自体が、自然なものでしたらね。
自然じゃないやつと思う。自然じゃないよ農薬やねんけど使ってもいい農薬はあるって。
なんかそういうオーガニックの資格
を、そう団体がね、
なんかいろいろ基準が違ったりし
ます。そう、団体がいろいろあんねんな。
藤岡さんはいつかその茶葉だけを
どうでしょうって。
5年に1回の質問ですよ。His tea is technically standard. He does have an organic selection. He does with a friend. It's called Yume Wakaba. So you can get a completely spray-free selection from Fujioka if you choose the Yume Wakaba. We brought him, though, a selection with us that was from another farmer from southern Japan. We made it for him, and he really enjoyed it. And I think we were able to just encourage this perspective again. And we continue this dialogue. And one of the things that we're doing with sort of our push towards organic is we understand it's a big deal for farmers to change their techniques. He's a 7th generation farmer. They weren't spraying 7 generations ago, but his father was. Maybe not a lot, but it was happening. So everything that he's learned is different from where we'd love to see things go. So we don't want to be draconian in our sort of relationship where we're like, you do this or we're not going to work with you. It's not like that. We love the guy. He's so knowledgeable, does such a great job. We actually think that if he makes that decision and goes and makes some really great product that's totally spray-free, and we get there, it's going to be magical.
美味しい。
よかったです。
美味しいわ。
よかったです。Another thing we did, we made some of his matcha with him that we had milled here. We'd done that before in 2019, and when he drank it, he was really, really stoked. He actually said, you know what, I think your matcha tastes better than when I mill it here on my mills. Now he uses stone mills.
僕のじゃあこれ一番上等。
あ
お客さんくれたのこれ。
あ
So
綺
for
麗な
the quick translation of what we're talking about to the camera is we're just about to make some organic matcha for Fujioka-san, and we've been talking about just what might work for organic preparation, and whether or not he might be able to make us some organic tea. Okay, ちょっと訳しました。
うん、よくわかりました。嘘です。
I'm making right now an okumidori Shimoyama, still Fujioka-san, different cultivar okumidori, and a different field Shimoyama. It's really interesting to have like a stone milled version of the same matcha side by side, and we are able to dial it in as a result when we can do that compare and contrast. And when we were choosing our mills, it was really important that the flavor be equal or better than what we were getting out of Japan. But we didn't want it to taste bad or worse than what we were getting out of Japan. So we really needed to prove that to ourselves. So then when we're happy with it, something that we like to do is bring it back to the farmers that are milling it or that are tasting it and get their opinion as well. And in this case, Fujioka-san did still give us his blessing. He thinks it tastes great.
どんどん良くなってってる気がします。
うん今日ね前より良くなったよね。僕もそう思った。
But that has a nice texture. So we definitely, just doing a little bit of QC here. If I brought this to him, the texture is perfect.
ジェレドさんは研究熱心ですからね。いやほんま世界を股にかけての研究熱心やな。続けていくのがすごいですね。
難しいですね、それは。
いや難しくてそれを続けていってるっていうことが。
あ、研究ですか？
うん。
学ぶのが2人とも好きなんで。
So one of the things about Fujioka-san is that he sells his tea to us, and he sells it direct to the consumer, and then like at kind of pop-up shops, and then he sells to the co-op. So we're his only wholesale customer, so which is pretty cool. And when we met him, he didn't really want to do business with us. He says, "I'm too small," and we're like, "Dude, we're small too." And we were just like faxing. He didn't even have email back then. And we just went back, I think 3 times. And he's like, okay, you guys have come so many times. I'm just going to sell you some stuff. I can't sell you very much. But it ended up being perfect. And he's a very funny man. We often are just like, I'll call him and he'll be at his pop-up shop and we'll be kind of laughing back and forth. And we're always kind of reminding each other we need to sleep. But he always keeps such good cheer. He's always making good jokes. And he's really good at making tea.
そんな温度で抹茶入れてるんですか？
いつも60度です。60度で入れた方が旨味が守られます。
それ何グラム入れたんですか？
2グラムのお茶に90グラムの
90cc？
90cc。
2グラムで？
はい。だいたい裏千家では 1.5 グラムに
60cc。
So just making Fujioka-san Yamaguchi's okumidori just to test out an organic matcha.
これが、いただきます。このまますいません。あ、おいしい。
あ、そうですか。
うん。
そう美味しいです。
You'd think that all farmers would be good at making tea. That's not true from our experience. A lot of people that are producers aren't necessarily people that are good at making it in a way that it would be really enjoyable at like a tea shop or something. But he's got it down. I learned so much from just watching him make his tea, and he's got so much confidence. It's awesome. He's really open to tasting other people's teas, but he's always like, yeah, but I sure like my tea. and it always comes back full circle to that, and that's great. And you know, we blind cup tenchas and we taste them in environments where we don't know whose is whose. And Fujioka-san's is always just a standout selection. It's just lots of umami, super incredible aromatics, vivid green, great identity. His selections and our catalog is made better because of the teas that we're able to get from him. That's for sure. And great guy. Something really unique about this trip was the chance of bringing the drone as well. So we got to actually fly a drone through the field, capture some really beautiful footage, and it was really fun because Fujioka-san said he felt like a little kid. He used to fly a little helicopter, remote helicopter around. He even bought a drone a number of years ago before the technology would stabilize the footage. It was really fun for him, and he was like writing down the model number, and he was like super stoked about our drone. It was our first time really like properly flying one, so it was cool. We got to fly it on Fujioka-san's property and check out I think it was the Shimoyama field that we were at. Yeah, it was really, really great. I mean, we hadn't been back in so long. You know, we visit Fujioka-san generally once every 2 or 3 years, but it had been so long, and to be back there, you can hear the birds singing. You have this charge that you get from being in the fields. And they're just so wondrous. Like they really steal your breath. You look at them, you're at the top of them, and you just see these rolling fields. And it's one of the reasons I think we keep doing this business is we just get so much out of visiting the farms, visiting the farmers. The relationships are so important to us because we feel like when we do well, they do well. And when they're good people, we feel like we're doing good things for good people. And these environments are very inspiring, I think. When you're in them and you can touch the leaves and you can check out the rootstock and kind of hang out with the plant, and you realize just how alive everything is and how connected it is. It's quite an unreal experience, and I love to go back. I wish we could go back every single season. We'll keep trying. Means a lot if you can consider to subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of great videos with amazing guests. You click that notification button, and when our videos go live, you're aware of them. We would love to get the feedback, love to answer questions, and have that two-way dialogue. Comment on them. That also really makes a big difference.